Good day to all. Today I will take you through 10 key points which NRIs can't do in India. Non-resident Indian. They have some restrictions when they are planning for investment in India. The government has put some kind of restrictions in some areas which NRIs can't do, and it's very important to understand and know the compliances when you are planning for an investment. So accordingly, you can put your money in those area which is allowed to you. Otherwise, in future it could get complicated and consequences would be harsh, because whenever you are planning for an investment, it's very important to follow all the regulatory and legal framework in which country you are investing. What are the compliances parts, where you have some kind of restriction, in which area you have a freedom. So once you understand all the aspects of it, it's very easy for you to plan your investment. So let's start and try to understand what are the 10 key points. The first is agriculture land, farmland or plantation. So let me explain you that from Government of India there is a restriction. So NRIs can't buy any agriculture land or plantation or farmland. So whenever you are planning for a investment in real estate, let's find out what kind of property was that before you gonna buy it. If it was agriculture land, then definitely you should avoid buying it. Or even if you are planning to buy some agriculture land, then there is a restriction, you cannot buy it. So better be careful, do your due diligence, and then invest your money in real estate. But yeah, there is one flexibility also. If suppose you are inherited some of these farmland or agriculture land or plantation from your ancestors, then there is no issue, they can give to you. Of course, documentation would be done accordingly. In that case, you don't have any problem. But yeah, for buying of fresh agriculture land, farmland or plantation, there is a restriction. So be careful, watchful, and then plan your investment if you are planning in real estate, and especially in these areas. The second key area which you should avoid is unlisted shares and some certain small cap companies. There is a restriction on some of these small cap shares and unlisted shares. As we know that small cap share or unlisted share, sometime what happens, the number of floating shares most of the time stays on the lower side for the unlisted and small cap share. So to avoid any kind of manipulation or malpractice or some kind of mispractice, it's restricted by the SEBI and the government for any NRIs to involve in trading or buying of these shares. So before you are planning to invest in some small cap or unlisted, better you should check that is there some kind of restriction on these shares or not. If there is no restriction, then definitely you can go and buy it. Otherwise, you should straight away avoid it. The third key area which you should avoid is having a saving account. Once you got the status of NRI, then definitely legally or with regulatory prospect, you should not keep any saving account. Either you should change it to NRO or you should open an NRI bank account. So any transaction which you are doing through normal saving account, serious consequences could happen. So better you avoid holding any saving account and doing any kind of big transaction or regular transaction from the saving account. It's very simple. You can go to the bank and you can convert your saving account to the NRO account, and then you can do all the Indian rupees transaction from that account. It's very easy and it's very convenient for you also. But yeah, sometime what happens that because you went out from India long back and that saving account was there, so some of the NRIs, they are not aware of it. Due to that, they are still using the same saving account. Due to some ignorance also, they are just taking the casual approach and they're just leaving that saving account as it is and operating for that. But you should be careful and change your normal saving account to NRO account once you got their status. And then all kind of investments or receiving the cash in rupees you can do from the NRO account. And same way, if you are using foreign currencies, means if you are sending some money in foreign currency from your home country to India, then you can use the NRO account. The fourth area which you should avoid is the government schemes. In many government schemes, NRIs are restricted to participate. Suppose Provident Fund or some kind of PPF or Post Office Saving or NSC or like Kisan Vikas Patra. There are so many government schemes where the return is little bit on the higher side. So all these instruments are strictly prohibited for NRI to invest their funds. So better you should choose some other instruments where you have flexibility to invest. There are many tax saving schemes also by the government which are available for the resident Indians. So as an NRI, you cannot participate in those instruments. So better you should avoid those also. Now the fifth key area where you should avoid investment is real estate development project. If you are planning to buy a unit or flat or a property, it's fine. But if suppose you want to invest in a real estate project which is starting from scratch, means some kind of construction will happen, so you want to invest as an investor in the company who does the real estate development, then there is a restriction. You cannot do investment in a real estate company or any kind of construction business. If that company is doing construction business, then also there is a restriction. So you should avoid these kind of investment if you are planning. Means in simple words, if I say any kind of real estate business, if you are investing in any company who does all these kind of buying and reselling the plots, or buying a plot and developing it by construction, by doing the construction and then selling the flat, so all these kind of businesses you cannot invest directly. Same way, any kind of infrastructure company, or suppose SEZ company you are planning to invest, so these kind of companies also you cannot invest. So better you do your due diligence and then plan your investment. Now the sixth key area where you cannot invest directly is certain businesses which involves kind of media, defense or insurance sector. So in these sectors, if you are planning to invest in some companies, then definitely you need a local partner. After that also, there are certain rule, regulation, compliances are there. Some additional approvals you need to get from the government prior to any kind of engagement with these companies. You need to get approval from the ministry that okay, this is your plan, you want to invest in this company which is doing operations or doing activity in defense sector or media sector or insurance sector. Then company will review the FDI norms, that how much foreign direct investment is allowed in that sector and what activity that company is doing, and accordingly once your special approval is done, then depending on your funds you can invest in those company. The seventh key focus area is avoid your tax liability on your global income. If you are suppose residing in India and you are staying more than the allowed days, the number of days allowed to stay is 182 days. So if you are staying more than 182 days in that financial year, your NRI status will automatically get forfeited. So in that case, if suppose you have some other profit or other businesses in some other country, so whatever income and profit you will generate there, your liability will stay on those profits also to pay in India. So you should be very particular about checking the days, how many days you are staying in India while doing the business. Even if you are doing some business activity in India, that's fine, but number of days you should not stay extra more than the given by the income tax department. So it's very critical area and you should always be watchful that you should avoid staying 182 days in India. Now the eighth key area where you should not put your fund is sovereign gold bond from Government of India. It's restricted for NRIs to buy any kind of SGB, sovereign gold bond. Although many people they invest in sovereign gold bond because the return is almost fixed, volatility is less, but yeah, this is applicable only for the resident Indians. If you are an NRI, then of course in Indian SGB you cannot invest. So you should avoid these investments for any legal complicacy. The ninth key thing which you should avoid is easily repurchasing some property or transferring inherited property, because generally what happens, inherited property or some property which you get very easily, some kind of issues are there in terms of documentation, in terms of claim of relatives and family. So before you going for these kind of property which is easily available, easily purchasable, the better do your due diligence, give some time, check all the documents at different levels, put a real estate consultant, put a legal advocate who can go and check legal documents in the departments also and outside also. Unless until everything is done, you are satisfied, then only you can take a call. Otherwise you should 100% avoid these kind of property which can land you in some kind of legal battle or legal complicacy in future. So that's why it's advisable to straight away avoid these kind of property or inherited property which you are planning to invest in. Sometimes what happens, like in these kind of properties, even although you got the documentation done on your name, but in the latter part some of the relatives or some of their next generation, they can go and file a legal case against that property or your ownership, then it can land you in the some legal battle. So better to avoid and don't go for these kind of properties. Now the 10th and the last thing which you should avoid is freely remitting your funds into Indian account. It doesn't matter you are doing in NRI account or NRO account. Although the transferring your funds to India is legal, but you have to see the limit. There is a capping on it. Annually, how much money you can transfer to the NRI in foreign currency, how much you can do in the Indian rupees. So you need to follow and watch these restrictions. How much is there, how much fund you can transfer, how you can invest these funds. So you should always be watchful before transferring any kind of money. If we talk about the remittance from India to your home country, the limit currently is 1 million. So same way, if you are transferring from home country to India or repatriable money, so all these, there are the limits there, and these days the government is doing modifications in the taxes rules. So better you should keep eye on that and then follow the guidelines. Also, one is very important, that whatever earnings you will do in India on your investment, either it's in share or capital gain properties, so whatever profit you will make in India, you are liable to pay taxes on that. So every year you should declare all those things and then keep your things neat and clean. It's very important. So these are the 10 key things, 10 key areas which you should avoid as a NRI. If you are planning for investment, then better you should do your due diligence, you should do your planning, and then accordingly you can execute the things. For more informative videos like that, keep watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. By the time I come with the next video, keep watching, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.